Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. Today we're looking at 21x, an algebraic version of blackjack. Aim of the game, just like blackjack, is to get 21 or as close as possible and stick when you feel like you wish to. It's a game for 1 to 6 players. It takes about 2 to 25 minutes. I generally find games only take about under 5 minutes in general. Everybody can have a little cheat sheet. If you are watching this as a short over on YouTube, please make sure you watch the full video over on YouTube as well. And of course, comment in YouTube is best because this does get shared. So this happens to be the beginner deck. If you see a small triangle in here, I'll give you an example with the triangles in a second. You can also play intermediate. I lost the game on beginner. I lost the game on intermediate against a different player or group of players. I won the game actually on advanced of all things. So you can shuffle these all together as well if you wish to. You've got dividing symbols and stuff like that, some negative values you might want to use. You've also got some brackets. So what do you do in this game? Well, to reach 21, everyone is going to be dealt 2 cards. And if you see a value with an N, it's the amount of cards that you have. If you see a value which has an X, then you can choose what integer you want it to be. So I've drawn these 2 cards. That's straightforward. It's a -5. This one could be any value I like, which is an integer. So in this case, I'm trying to reach 21. So currently my score is -5. It's +6 here. So now I'm to +1. I could actually make this X be a 10. And therefore I've got 10 times 2, obviously +6. So actually, sorry, that wouldn't work. 10 times 2 is 20 +6. Yeah, I've got exactly 21. And you saw I completely shuffled that deck. I got extremely lucky there in my view. You'd say stick. In this case, everyone else has 1 minute to get the best score they can. Now, I like playing this game solo. In fact, I've rated it best on boardgamegeek in that respect because it is quick. The downside is, of course, you'll be playing out cards and you don't know when you want the game to end. If you're playing with other players and people are taking too long, then if you've got a score, maybe 16 or 18 or whatever it is, you can say stick. Everyone else has 1 minute to do the best they can. When you shout out stick, you've got to give your integer a value though. So I can't believe how well I did with that one. Let's show you another example. So 2 cards, and here we have 1n. So 1 minus n. So n is the number of cards, we have 2. So y minus n is currently -1. And then over here we've got 6 to the x. So x can be, or 6 times x, can be any value I like. So on -1, we make x say 3. We want 18, -1, our score 17. Again, we might want to stick, or we might want to grab an extra card. Just imagine we've got an extra card. And right now what we have is, so we've got 17 based on x being 3. If x is 3, then that makes it 23. Plus 2 to the n, 2 times n. So again, we've got 3 cards, so 23. The score would be 29. So now you need to start thinking, well, actually, let's make x a smaller value. So if this happens, and of course n is -1, so it even lowers a bit more actually by an extra 1. But it's still too high, so we would go bust. So now to go again, so let's just say it was a 2, so now we have, this becomes 12. If that's a 2, then we've got 4, so that's up to 16. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and we have a score of 20. You can never stick on 20. It's just part of the game, and that's because lots of things do add up to exactly 20. In this case, you'd have stick, and then you'd have draw out another card, and you keep on going. As for the arts, very much like it. Obviously, this is very straightforward. There's some really cool ones out here. Obviously, you have 2x. Obviously, you want to say whatever you want x to be, but of course, 6 is just an integer there. And that is the game. You can have your score being a decimal as long as it's exactly 20, so you have 20.5, that works. Any value you like, so yeah, you could have a minus value, you could have -5 billion, but that's not really going to help you when you're trying to get to 21. 54 cards in this game. This is from Naylor Games. Other games from Naylor Games coming soon. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let me know your thoughts are mentioned in YouTube. Mentioned also on the podcast, you can find that by the description in YouTube as well. Also over on Instagram, please follow along there, almost 4,000 followers at time of recording. And head through to check out Facebook to join the discussion there. And Linktree for occasional competitions, but they are time sensitive, but they do disappear. And lastly, yeah, I said about sharing. There's also Patreon, we can support the channel. But for now, back to the table.